This is where my Grandma Williams lived, and during the summers when I was out of school, come out here and stay with her like 1 or 2 weeks during the summer and help her hoe the garden or, you know, get the eggs from the chickens, whatever. But used to stay out here some during the summer, and this one story she told me about being out here and was kind of a true ghost story. And what the story she told me was that when like my father and his brothers would be out plowing in the fields, she knew when she heard them coming in, like with the horses or mules, whatever they were using to plow, that when she heard the chains, that it was time to finish getting supper ready and stuff. But she would hear chains and then come out on the porch and look, and then there wouldn't be anybody there. So what she told me about this is, as old as this place is, that slaves probably worked the fields, you know, way back when, and supposedly the sound was the chains of the slaves that used to work, you know, the fields. So that's how I started coming up with the idea for the song. Sound from 100 years ago was the sound of the slaves' chains, like coming down the road. My dad used to tell me when they worked this farm and other farms too, that sometimes if the crops weren't too good, that they were going to have to pay their debt if they didn't have enough vegetables and stuff, is to the owners of the land or the bank or whoever was going to come and get some of their livestock. So what they would do is have some of the teenage boys like go camp down by the creek or river and take like at least 1 cow and 1 hog and maybe some chickens, so they'd have something to eat over the winter. And that was some of the stories my dad would tell me about farming out here and some of the other farms that they worked on. And they were mainly, I guess you would call them, tenant farmers, but they did end up buying this place. The original building was older than 1780 or 1790, which I've been told is probably one of the oldest wooden structures in Mecklenburg County. So that kind of dates it, that it probably could have had slaves work on the fields, and so that's where that came from. But spent many summers out here with my Grandma Williams, and but that's how I got the idea for the song Sound from 100 Years Ago.
Those chains down the road, better get the biscuits in the oven. It's been a hot day in the fields, you know they will be starving. But when I go porch, there's not a soul inside. Could it be chains of slaves from another time? Is it the boys coming home, or a sound from 100 years ago? I've heard them so many times, I just don't know. We're just sharecroppers live off the land. And we're making ends meet whenever we can. The bank loans us seed and other things that we need. But if your crops aren't too good, they take your livestock and leave you chicken feed. Is it the boys coming home or a sound from 100 years ago? I've heard them so many times, I just don't know. This house that we live in was built in 1780 or 90, I don't know. But it was slaves that worked these fields a long time ago. It's getting on in the evening, I hear that sound